Hi guys, how are you? I know it seems like it's been forever since I've been on here, even though it's been 5 days. 5 days in YouTube is like 2 years, here. But as I stated in my last video, there's been a lot of things going on in my personal life. My home is under construction. You're looking at the construction worker. Yeah, that's me. Thank goodness for YouTube how-to videos because it's teaching me literally how to build my home from the ground up. But there has been so much going on, that I've seen so much nonsense, so many things I've been wanting to talk about. I have so many screen recordings on my phone. And I'm like, I want to show them this. I want to hear what they have to say about that. Did they see this? And then I just haven't had time to sit down and actually put it together. But I did see this, and I do want to hear what your guys' opinion about this, because there's a lot of mix when it comes to this. So what I am talking about is a child killer is being released. Derrick Smith is being released. He was denied parole 10 times. So this was his 11th parole hearing. It was granted. He will be a free man November 17th, 2021. So not even a month away, he will be out of prison after doing 27 years. He will be 41 years old. If you don't remember who Derrick Smith is, let me jog your memory just a little bit. Derrick Smith was the 13-year-old when he brutally murdered 4-year-old Derrick Robie, August 2nd, 1993. I remember when I heard about this case, it really always stuck with me because when you're teaching your children to be wary, to watch their surroundings, to be careful, you're teaching your kids about the boogeyman and you're thinking the boogeyman is this scary adult. However, in this case, the boogeyman was a 13-year-old child. So it's hard when kids do this. I've always been just like fascinated, I guess maybe that's the word, of why. Like, what would make them? Is that something they were born with? Was it already inside them? Was it bound to happen already? Was it their surroundings? Was it their childhood? Was it the way they were being brought up? Or was it just a mixture of both? And so let's talk about Derrick Smith. Derrick Smith's mother took a medication when she was pregnant with him. And I think it was called triadone. It was to treat seizures because she had epilepsy. And that was talked about in the trial. They said that perhaps that was the cause of it. We know that triadone causes birth defects. And in Derrick, it caused his ears to be low set. And he also had bright red hair and freckles. A lot of people would say that he ride his bike around town all by himself all day long. He didn't have any friends. He was bullied at school. Not only was he bullied at school, he would come home where he was bullied there. His stepfather even admitted to being a big old bully. His sister later came out and said she was SA'd by her stepfather. However, Derrick always stuck with that it did not happen to him. Some of the family questioned that, especially what had happened in this crime, because some could say it was sexual in nature. I'll get in that in a moment. But Ted, his adopted father, was a very angry, bully man. He would knock Derrick upside over his head. And Derrick actually came to Ted and told him that he had a lot of anger inside of him, that he thought something was wrong with him, that he was different. And Ted told him that he was like that too as a child, and told Derrick to go out and punch a tree to get his anger out. So when Derrick would come back in the house, his knuckles and stuff would be all bloody from punching this tree. Also, when Derrick was a kid, he strangled the family cat. So as we know, that's a sign. That's a huge sign. Seems like there was a lot of signs. As a toddler, he threw tantrums. He beat his head repeatedly on the floor. And so some will say when Derrick seen Derrick, he's seen somebody who was helpless, that he could take control over and that he could bully. In the trial, The psychiatrist that was called in diagnosed Eric Smith with, and let me see if I can say this right, I always get it wrong, intermittent explosive disorder, which is violent anger outbursts that are uncontrollable and they can come out of nowhere. However, the prosecution said that that was very rare for a child of Eric's age to have such a diagnosis. I mean, just thinking though, we know there has to be something there, right? For a child to do that, there has to be something not right. But let me know what you guys think about that. So the day that it happened was Eric was kicked out of the day camp for bad behavior. So he was riding his bike home, and little 4-year-old Derrick Robie was walking to the camp, the day camp for the day. Dell and Doreen, Derrick Robie's parents, took a lot of heat following the aftermath for allowing 4-year-old Derrick to walk alone that day. However, Doreen explains it was a dead-end street with no high-traffic area barely a block away, and 4-year-old Derrick was so excited to be a big boy and walk himself that morning. And because I'm sure his parents relive that moment in their head every day, I won't talk about it anymore. So on the way, Eric spotted Derrick. He knew Derrick was younger, somebody he could take control of. He lured Derrick into the woods where he strangled him, picked up these big rocks and hit him in the head with them, smashed his head. Then he opened up Derrick's lunchbox where he grabbed his drink, which was red Kool-Aid. He poured it inside the wounds of Derrick, and then he took a stick that he found nearby and he sodomized Derrick. He said the reason he did that was because he thought the stick would touch his heart and make sure his heart stopped. I don't know. The crime itself was so gruesome and disturbing, and then it just sent shocks to find out it was a 13-year-old child. But it's almost like what he did next was even worse. And so I think the reason, and this is my opinion and how I feel, I love to hear what you guys have to think, but I feel like I don't know if he planned on actually taking his life, but I do think that he wanted to take him in those woods and bully him and beat him and, be a bully himself. He wanted to take what he felt onto Derrick. However, and he stated this in an interview that he was afraid he would get in trouble because Derrick would go tell on him, so he had to make sure he couldn't tell on him. So 4 days after the crime, Eric went to the police department and he asked the police if there was anything he could do to help with the case. He kind of let on that he may have seen Derrick that day, where the police started questioning him a little bit more. And then it kind of seemed like they thought that Eric had seen something. They didn't actually think he did the crime, but they knew then that he was there. He had seen something. They thought he was just afraid that he had seen a horrific scene. So they had Eric lead the police there, and they have him on video. He's just a smiling, happy-go-lucky kid that he's in the middle of this case, that he's helping. And finally, though, he breaks down. He starts crying. He says, "You think I killed him, don't you?" And the police at this time didn't think that. So he pretty much confessed. He never actually, stated the motive, just that he was a bullied child. Eric Smith received the maximum for a juvenile, which was 9 years to life, where he spent in the juvenile system up until he was 21, and that's when he was transferred to, prison, where he's been. And something else I thought was very disturbing in this, not only in this case, but all these cases, every 2 years, these murderers get to go up for parole. So every 2 years, these families have to relive the worst time in their entire life. There was an interview by Tammy the mother of Derrick about how she has to relive this every 2 years, and it's like she has to beg the prison system to keep her son's killer in prison. And that doesn't seem right to me at all. Like, that 2 years doesn't seem, I don't know, something just doesn't sound right with that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the parole hearing should be more spread out, especially with a case like this? And murder cases. Derrick's family has not released any statement about how they feel now that their son's killer is being released. But let me know what you guys think below. Do you think after 27 years in prison, can Eric Smith be a changed man? Do you think he can come out of the prison system and be an asset to the community? Do you think there is a high chance that he's going to, harm someone else? I look at it and think, would I let him babysit my children? And that answer would be no. But let me know what you guys think below. Give this video a like, or you can dislike it. That helps too. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Hit the notification bell because you just never know when I'm going to go on. And YouTube just does not be promoting my videos. So hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I put a video out. And I will see you guys really soon. And as always, until next time, please take care. Bye, guys.
I'm driving down an empty freeway.